Hello everyone, I am Tzu Yang. I'm from my Taiwan tour. Today, I'm going to share a topic with you, and this topic is about guiding biases and skills. So, let me break it down for you just in a minute. And before that, let me tell you who am I. I'm a tour guide, and I have been doing tour guide since 2014 till 2020. And I do day tour, customized multi-day tour, group tour, and also driver guide. So basically, I'm touring people around the whole island, not just one spot. But in different type of tour, I try to learn different guiding skill. So for today, I'm going to share my personal experience and what I found out is quite important for guiding. And I have one like achievement I want to share with you. Like in the 2017, I have actually been the guide for international Olympic committees, which they're all quite like high executive staff. So I'm pretty happy that I did it, and I can say I'm confident enough to do that because I have learned some basic guiding principle that can lead me to doing the tour. So today, let us start from the basis. The guiding biases. So if you don't know what that thing is or you don't have any idea, I have three things to share with you. This is the thing you should do. First, look your audience in the eyes, just like right now. Like I think eye contact is one of the most important thing when you are doing the tour. If you are a tour guide and you do the tour without eye contact with the people, they don't see connected with you. And as a professional guide, you need to make them feel like you are actually telling them something, not just you're sharing the information and blah blah blah. You're not a routine person. You are their guide. So eye contact is very important. And this is quite a hard skill. You need to actually practice because most of the people are quite shy doing the eye contact. Maybe you will know like if you see a random guy on the street and walking and you just see them, you will feel like quite shy. So I think eye contact is a skill that you need to train yourself and be confident enough to actually see them right in the eyes. And this is what I will ask you to do in the future. If you want to do the guiding tour, you should look people in the eye. And this is one of the very important things. And the second thing is friendly body language. And body language is a thing like right now you don't see me very clearly, but with the open arm and stand straight, like kind of like hugging them in a way, this is like a feeling. This is like a body language. You don't do the crossing thing like this, and then you don't really feel like you're not friendly enough. So the body language is kind of the thing that you can make your client see you as a friendly people, and because you're friendly, so they will want to listen to you, and you have more type of like create a good atmosphere. And I think this is the thing you should do to have a nice body language. And the third thing is speak with enough volume. Like right now, I'm speaking to you. But if I'm just mumbling over here, you don't listen to what I'm saying. And if you don't listen to what I'm saying, you cannot pay attention to what I trying to share with you. So I think like create a different voice, high and down. It is very important. And so here, let me share some pictures with you. This is eye contact. Do you see this beautiful lady's eyes in this PowerPoint? How powerful that is? It can see through your soul in a way. So I think eye contact, this is, I hope you can remember, is very important. And make sure if you're doing a single tour, you definitely talk to the people and look there in the eye. If you're doing a group tour, you definitely couldn't really see everyone in the eye, but you can try from left, middle, right, surround your audience and make sure you see them and they see you. This is a way to practice an eye contact. And also, if you do more research about this, actually, I encourage you to do that. Look on the Google Net. You see all different YouTuber or even some professor there sharing about how people can look in the eye in different angles. This is quite a professional skill, and I really hope that you can look it up because my personal experience, if I look people in the eye and I tell them something, I think they do really do believe in me. This is also a thing that a good eye contact can start to build a reliability that they are relying and trusting you. And this is very important because as a tour guide, if they don't believe in what you are sharing with them or they don't like you at all, they don't feel being respected, they don't want to know what the itinerary you want to share with them or you want to take them to. They're not interested in. So a warm eye contact can create a very, very good, strong, powerful message to them, saying that you're passionate enough to share what the thing you want to tell them. And the second one is the body language. So see this girl in this PowerPoint, the open arm. This is exactly what I'm telling you. Try to be like this, open arm. Don't ever cross it. Don't face it that way. Don't face it that way. Just like look your audience in the eye and also have an open body language. This is something you can also know and also kind of like look it up more in internet or even other textbook. So I encourage you, remember eye contact and body language. And the next one, speak up. Speak up. Create a different sound effect from your own body. It means a different. I will tell you a very, very interesting trick. Sometimes when we do something, okay, I'm going to share a very important thing. That is, speak up. If you notice what I'm doing, you are very smart. And I'm telling you for the rest of the people, if you don't know what I'm doing, I'm actually creating a pause in the middle between what I want to share with you and then later on is a speak up. Creating a pause can make people suddenly stop and then try to think, oh, what are you going to say? Are you saying something important? A pause is very important. So remember, it's kind of like a flow like this. You stop and then you can pause and then come up and they will listen to you. So voice is kind of like our tour guide weapon. We can use our voice to break down a human heart. You know, like if you try to share your personal story with them, if you try to share your hometown history, try to use a very emotional voice and speak up to let them know that you are very interesting and passionate enough to share it with them. And I think that is really the guiding devices. And now I'm going to tell you something else. Hi everyone, my name is Tai. I'm now going to show you the actual thing about guiding. So here, this is the eye contact that I keep on sharing with you. Like look you in the eyes. And also lean forward your body, your shoulder. And then also embrace your audience. And then when you're facing a big crowd, you make sure that you're facing like this. Here and then here. To make sure you see them also in the eyes. And then, for example, if I'm going to introduce you the President Office building in Taipei, if you don't know that picture, it's okay. Look it up in your smartphone, you can have an idea. If you look at the President Office building, this is an amazing building. And it's built in the Japanese time period in Taipei. And it combines all the different European structures because the Japanese want to prove to the world that they have capability of building a same amazing building structure just like Europe. And so when you're doing the tour, you face some of the items you want to show them, point out some of the main key point, which main key point is like the Japanese want to make everyone know they're also as good as European people. So that's why they build this amazing building. This is my key point. So you make sure when you're doing your guiding, you make some key points. And also, I'm going to share a small story with you. There was a year and the Taiwan economic is not as good as right now. And there was a very angry truck driver.
just drive all the way and directly punch into the first floor of President Office building. That's happened in the news, and that is a big news at that time. So I amaze you with a very interesting trunk story with this building. So when you hear my story, you will start to have an imagination. Oh, there's a trunk driving and then they bump into the main floor over here. This is a good way to start up your tour. And also, you can explain it with the time zone. So this President Office building now have a president called Tsai Ing-wen, and she's now working inside. And the Japanese time is actually governor work inside. So it's the same building but with different time zone. The history also help you can explain the building you want to explain to your audience. And also you can compare it. Oh, some people have a rumor saying that the president office building is a little bit look like the Chinese cemetery. So there is another story is that Chiang Kai-shek, when he was the president, he think that create him the bad luck. It's bad for feng shui. Maybe you know that idea. It's a bad energy being created. So some people think, oh, because this building look like a cemetery, so that will cause Chiang Kai-shek not in a very good luck. So combine all the different guiding skill. If you were learn it well, you can actually combine in different guiding methods all together. It's not just like when you're explaining this item, you use only one guiding skill. No, you can combine them all together. And then also make sure eye contact, friendly body language, and then also make key points.
This is the thing you shouldn't do. So the first thing is guiding without facing the crowd. If you're doing the guiding, and just like I'm talking to you and I'm facing that way, definitely don't do that. You don't feel being respectful. You don't see what I'm doing. If you are doing a group tour especially and you don't care your audience, just leave them there and then you talk for yourself, no one will listen to you. So don't do that. And the second one, open a sidebar conversation. Many of you might notice if you're walking in a group, some people are chatting all the time. They're like small bird and just keep on chatting. You don't listen to them, you don't know what they're talking, but they just keep chatting. This is called a sidebar conversation. As a tour guide, you shouldn't do that. You should not open a sidebar conversation with your client because if you're only talking to the A client and you didn't care B, C, D client, they're not going to be happy about that. If you keep on talking to one client only, you don't show respect to others. So please don't open a sidebar conversation. For me, I think this is very important. And next one is no key point mention. As a guide, every time you are presenting something, you should have a key point in your mind. For example, if I'm now in Taipei, and today I have to have a key point, or I will just rumbling around like, oh, there is 101, there is bubble milk tea, there is National Palace Museum, and there's Yongkang Street. You don't know what I'm trying to mention. So try to make a key point in your presentation. And when you're doing the guiding, please do that as well. Like, so today, I want to speak with you about the food in Taipei. And the food is the bubble milk tea, the beef noodle soup, and the Ding Tai Fung Xiaolongbao. If you mention key point, the audience will know what you're going to share with them. So please do that as well. So here, let me try to share some of the picture with you again. This is a guy I think that is not a good example. He's facing the wall and not looking at his audience. Sometimes, if you really want to point out somewhere, you need to do it this way. But I recommend you, after you know that the audience know what they should be looking at, facing them again. Make your face facing your audience again. And make sure you can make some eye contact, friendly body language as I mentioned before. This is very important. So this is a bad example. The next one is the sidebar conversation. Please don't do that. Really, I have an example like I'm leading a bus tour and I'm one of the leading guy, and there's other car tour guy, and the other tour guy just keep on chatting with Johnny. He's a friend from the United States, and they're just having a really nice conversation. I noticed it because they're talking about scuba diving and hiking because they have something in common. But my colleague is a tour guide. He shouldn't be talking to Johnny all the time. He's neglecting the rest of the group. So even though you're just walking or you're taking some break, just be careful. When you are in charge of the whole group, just try not to do the sidebar conversation. That is my recommendation. And the other picture you see is pointless. You say a lot of words, but you don't make any points. That is something means that you don't make key points. So do make sure you make key point in every tour. The most important thing of all. Do anyone want to guess the answer? Try to think. What is the most important thing of all in guiding devices? Okay, I'm going to give you the answer in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Do anyone guess? It's know your audience. Know your audience is such an important thing because in that way you will know what you're going to share with them. Actually, this is a very interesting thought I want to share with you right now, which is guiding is not like teaching. Tour guide is not professor. You can be a professor and then become a tour guide. But when you are doing the tour guide job, I don't really recommend you try to think as a professor way and then try to lecture your student. As a guide, the important thing of all is to understand your audience, know what they want, and then share the information they need for them. For me, that is the soul of the guiding devices. To know your audience, and because you know them, so you can share exactly what they need. And now, let me give you some of the details about knowing your audience. And I think you can definitely understand what I'm trying to say here. Nationalities. Nationality is one of the very important way to know your audience. For example, the people from United States, the people from Spain, the people from Malaysia, they have come from different cultural background, and so they have different interests, and so they have different taste requirement, and so they have different thing they want to know about your country. So first thing, to know their nationality can really help you understand your audience in a way. I definitely understand that it's not the whole picture of your audience, but knowing their nationality is a key. And here, let me share with this picture. You can see we have different race over here. Black people, white people, yellow people, people from different continents, people from different countries, people from different background. Look at their dress, talk to them, do a more conversation. I think know your audience is really important. And not just by looking what they dress, but actually talk to them. So every time when I'm doing a tour, I will really start with a really nice, good conversation. And some of the question I will ask my client is, where are you from? And also, why are you here? For me, where are you from? Why are you here? Can really help me to know them. So I will know a little bit about their cultural background, and then I will know the reason why they are joining this tour. And by doing so, I can start to plan out my database and then find out something I would like to share with them. So nationality is kind of like a global worldview. This is something you need to really make an effort to try to understand different nations. Try to understand different nation history background. And also, actually, most important thing, try to understand your client specifically. Try to know them. Try to talk to them in all the different life. Like if you have a chance, I mean, like if you're doing a small tour, you can definitely have time to have a really nice conversation with them, and that is going to be happen not starting tour is actually kind of like your break time, your chat time. For example, lunchtime, dinner time, or tea time. These are the good time to really chatting with your client. And then the other thing I want to share with you about knowing your client is about the age group. I think the age group can really help you understand like um, how different age group are going to be like. Later, this is the picture I'm going to share with you, and then this explain a little bit more details about different age group. So here you can see from the left is the traditionals born 1944 and before. You can understand a little bit about that time. Just after World War II, they were being born, and then maybe their parents have been through the war, and they're now quite old, but still have the knowledge about Cold War and something like that. And then it's between 1945 and 1964, like economic started being prosperity, and then we start to build our global village. And then you have a generation between 1965 and 1984. The age group actually can help you understand your client. So I know this is kind of like a privacy thing. So I'm not trying to ask you to ask your client birthday, something like that. But just by looking at their age, you will have an idea about maybe which age group they are in. And by knowing which age group they are in, we can start to have more customized planning of the tour. And for me, I think this is very, very important. I have a personal experience. I'm taking care of a nanny from Australia. And then I know she's a nanny because, she's like having a stick and I walk really, really slow and talk really slow. So I try to notice and see why are she here. And the reason she's here is because every year their family will have a time for travel. And this year they choose to be in Taiwan. So I have a chance to be her guide and show her around the whole island. And because I know she's an old lady, so during the tour, I try to talk with the knowledge I know maybe is more familiar with her. For example, because she definitely been through some of the World War II time, and then I just share some of the history about World War II in Taiwan with her. And by doing this way, I'm creating some connection and also create a better atmosphere that for the whole tour, she think I'm really thoughtful and I can understand her in a way. And then sometimes I also complain that oh the younger generation they're just too loud, they're sticking in their phone so much. And she will laugh. This is a way that yeah I can try to imagine how she will feel in this age because definitely at her time there's no something like iPhone like that. But now she also use it. But anyway, it just try to make some understanding and try to create some connection. And so this is the reason why I share like the age group is quite important. And on the opposite side, for like Generation Z, like they born in 1995, like you can talk with them about the movies, the music, and all the Instagram and Facebook things. That is what they're interested in. So this is the reason why I see the age group as an important key to know your audience.